So we're going to begin this sequence by finding child's pose. You can separate the knees about mat's width apart or bring them a bit closer together if that's more comfortable for you. And as you can see, I'm resting my head on my hands. You're welcome to bring the forehead to the mat. However, if it doesn't quite make it to the mat, you can start by placing the head on the hands. You're going to walk the hands over to the right, reach the fingertips away from the left hip, and find a deep stretch in the left side of the body. And pause here for 3 slow, steady breaths. On an inhale, you send the arms back to center, finding child's pose. And on an exhale, you walk the hands off the left side of the mat. Again, drawing the right hip towards the right heel, and the fingertips towards the left corner of the room. Inhaling back to child's pose. And then finding a tabletop posture by stacking hips over knees and shoulders over wrist. You're going to inhale for cow pose, dropping the heart, lifting the gaze, and exhaling for cat, chin to chest, back rounds. Take a few rounds of that at your own pace, flowing with the breath, giving the spine a chance to warm up. Going to curl the toes and lift the hips, finding downward dog. And then pedal out the heels by bending one knee, sending the opposite heel towards the mat and switching sides a few times. If the hamstrings are very tight when you find your downward dog and you finally come to stillness, you can keep a slight bend in the knees for as long as you need. And then slowly walk the feet towards the top of the mat. Separate the feet about hips width apart. Soften the knees, grab a hold of elbows and forward fold, finding ragdoll. Letting the head hang heavy, making sure there's no tension in the neck and shoulders. And then release the arms and just walk the hands over to the right side and fold over the right leg. If the hands don't make it to the mat, you can just bring the hands to the shin or to the thigh. And then walk towards the left and fold over the left leg. It's going to help stretch out the IT band of the right leg and the glute, the low back. Exhale to fold deeper. Inhale, hands to shins, find a half lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale as you half lift. Once more, forward fold. Half lift. Exhale the breath out of the body. And as you inhale, bring the hands to hips and rise up with a straight spine. We'll find mountain pose at the top of your mat, distributing the weight equally in both feet. Inhale the arms up, palms to touch, gaze at the thumbs, and as you exhale, hands come down the midline of the body and you forward fold. Half lift as you inhale. Exhale, plant the hands. Step the right leg back, drop the right knee, and bring the hands to the hips. You're going to tuck the tailbone towards the mat, and then shift the hips down and forward to feel a stretch in that inner part of the right hip. You want to make sure you're not feeling a strain on the lumbar spine as you take that pose. And then we bring the hands to the mat, or blocks if you have them and would like extra height. Slowly start to straighten that left knee and bow forward, hinging at the hips, keeping the spine as straight as you can. This is pretty intense, especially at the beginning of a practice. So you can put a bend in that front knee if need be. Then you're going to shift forward, find a low lunge, and step back to downward dog. Lift the right leg. Step it between the hands or as close as you can get it. Drop the left knee this time. And then take that lunge on the right side. 3 slow, steady breaths once there. And on an exhale, hands come to the mat. You shift the hips back, straighten the right knee to a point that allows you to feel a stretch without any pain, and bow. You can see I'm actually pulsing a bit here. Find your lunge and step back to downward dog. And then walk the feet to the top of the mat. Find a half lift. Forward fold. And inhale, rise up, palms to touch. Bring the hands to the heart and find your mountain pose. And take that again. Inhale. Exhale to fold. Inhale, finding half lift. Plant the hands. Step the left leg back first this time. Drop the left knee. Hands come to the hips. Stacking shoulders over hips. Again, draw the tailbone down. It's going to take the stretch away from the front hamstring and bring it to that left hip. It's also going to protect the low back. Shift the hips back and fold for your half split. Shift forward, raise the back knee, and step back for downward facing dog. Left leg steps through. We drop the right knee this time. Bring the hands to the hips. 3 breaths here in your lunge. Really important not to rush this. You're really taking the full breath for a count of 3 or 4 on the inhales and exhales. And finding your half split on the left once more. The point of this is to build muscle memory rather. Memory in the muscles. So that maybe the chest is dipping closer to that extended leg each time you take it. We step back to downward dog, gaze to the top of the mat, and then walk the feet there, emptying the breath as you exhale and fold. Inhale to half lift, and then rise up, palms touch. Bring the hands to the heart, mountain pose.